Hi, this is my very first time doing a live. So I don't know really what I'm going to do. My guides have been telling me that I need to uh, get online and just give readings to folks. All right, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Um, got my little angel there. Yeah, let's bring angels in. And so I have a little bit about myself. I have a my website called Empathy Needed, and I I give readings. I give psychic readings for people who are in need of guidance, and so I'm also one half of at the psychic clinic with my best friend Shell, who lives in London, and we're going to do a 10-hour live stream on February 14th. But until then, it's me, and yeah. So a little bit about me: I read energy, and I'm an intuitive energy reader, and so I just basically will tune into people, places, things, and see what comes through. So for right now, I've had a couple of people reach out to me, actually that reached out to me some time ago, and I just didn't know what to do with it because kind of get the what is it, the emails that say, well, I can't, I I would like a reading, but money ain't moneying right now, so can you help me? So my guides said, why don't you help by sort of just getting out there and doing lives? And that's it. So here we are doing lives. So first things first, I'm going to, I guess, cleanse the energy in the room. I also do tuning forks. I love tuning forks. I love the way that they clear the energy, and I also do readings using these tuning forks, which are they are what's the word, attuned to the different energy centers in our bodies. So uh, maybe I should explain a little bit about energy. Especially when somebody goes through a kind of a trauma and it's been unprocessed and undealt with, then it will sort of crystallize. And at the time that it then crystallizes, it kind of stays there and I guess creates a trauma. And so people will will deal with um, that trauma and deal with it as a trauma. And so what these help do is kind of go in and I don't know, just it tunes. I don't know how it works. All I do know is that when I hold them up to someone's body, I can get information about things that have happened to them, and depending on how close to the body or how far away from the body they are, I'm sure everyone's heard of auras. um, it will be what's the word, I'll start to feel and get more information about what's happening. So let's say somebody got into a car accident 10 years ago, that might be around here. And around here we'll start to see, I'll start to get more information about how that accident will have affected them. But anyway, so for right now, we're going to tune the energy again. And then I have about 4 readings that I'm going to do and give 15 or so minutes to it. So I'll just see how it goes. But the general gist of it is folks have gotten in touch and they have asked for guidance with certain things in their lives. And let's see, let's just get into it. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and time it, because if I don't time it, I will end up going into the woods. um, and If you haven't already, go on over to the sister site of the Psychic Clinic with myself and Shell, and we just talk, and we're gonna do readings together. Probably the best way of putting it. Uh, I do feel like I'm talking to myself, but it's okay. I can talk to myself. I talk to myself a lot. Okay, so let's do like a 15-minute, maybe 20 minutes. Let's do. So 20 minutes. My first person who wrote to me is named Darnita. I don't know if this is like, let me just pause this. I don't know if this is real name or whatever, but I do invite folks to write me just a very brief sentence if you do want to allow context to your situation. But yes, actually, because I'm putting it out online, there needs to be some level of context, please. Just being like, okay, so what do I think about this is different if I'm having a private reading, live reading with someone. So yeah, so just like a line, maybe two, but not, please, no paragraphs. I don't want to have to read through that. It's time. I just want to be able to get in not too much information, but just a little bit of context. So all right, so Darnita is a single mother of three, works for the federal government, and has been offered an opportunity to resign and still get paid until September, or stay at her current job, which means she may or may not have a job. Okay. Whew, all right. So her questions are: will they fire me? Oh, and please send like 3 questions. So yeah, no more than 3, and then we'll do like clarity. Start looking for another job, or should I start the business? That business. I'm interested in hearing about what that business is. So let's let's start with that first question, which was, will they fire me? Oof, that's just not a I'm sorry, Miss Donita, that you're going through this. I'm actually sorry. Am I just sending a lot of love and light to all of the federal employees who are going through this? All right, so let's see. Okay, so initially what I get is that, understanding this. Okay, yeah, so you have a choice. You've just said that. I'm not getting a yes or a no. I feel like maybe there's something about your job description that means you're not so much indispensable, but you're able to, if you were to stay on, you would continue to have a job. I think there's also the feeling that you need to become very clear about what you want, clear about the direction that you want to go in. I think that right now you're so I get the King of Pentacles, and from that I pick up that it's just very messy. Like if you see the what he's wearing, it's like very messy, and it's, but then also there's the what is it, the armor underneath. So obviously you need to put your guard up and get to a space where you are Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is she's focused, and she's got I mean, you don't have to know exactly what you want to do, but you just do need to become clear about what direction that you want to go into. My initial answer is that it doesn't feel like they're going to fire you. I do feel like you will have a job. The feeling that I'm getting anyway is that you do have the option to have a job further into the future. So if you're going to choose to be made redundant, and then you what's the word, uh you have the choice to become redundant. But if you decided to stay, I feel like you would still have your job just because of the nature of what you do. Um, I do feel as though you do need to keep your guard up, however, and just be very discerning. There's a feeling of discerning. Be discerning about who you mix with, what you say to whom, and just I'm not talking about being secretive. I'm just saying just be discerning, because it does feel as though not everyone in your workplace has your best interests at heart, especially with everything that's going on. With everybody, fearing for their jobs. That there's an unfortunate sense of competition in an unhealthy way that seems to come up when people are scared. That kind of it's almost like the image that I get is an emotional stampede, when everyone is just kind of trying to get out of a certain place, and it just becomes an emotional stampede. That's what I'm getting. I do feel also that you are like, because I've got a King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, the Emperor, King of Wands. Miss Darnita, you are um you're the sort of the queen of your castle, the king of your castle. You have a lot of choices about what you can do. So I don't know how you got yourself into the situation, but yes, ma'am, you have the ability to make a choice to stay in your current position. If you stay in your current position, you're going to stay in your current position until you leave. But be very clear about what it is that you want to do, and then move in that direction. So if you're deciding not to stay in that career in your current job, you can. And so I see that you. So the the answer to your first question, will they fire me? I would say no. At this particular point, the way that the current energy looks, because I see a more long term for you, if you were to stay in your job, I feel like you would be able to stay in your job. So, second question, sh- uh, should I just start looking for another job? That's up to you. That's up to you if you want to go to another job, if you do want to go to something. I do get a sense, however, let me pull up a card on it. I do get a sense that you are maybe not happy in your current job, because sometimes, God's rejection is God's protection, or something like that. Which is okay, yeah, I got the devil card. So the in this card for me represents when somebody is in a situation, and especially like if you look at the two people, they're in a vulnerable position, even though they're in this I'm in this particular one, I'm drawn to the fact that they have chains. They both have chains around their neck. So it's a toxic situation. There is, if you look closely as well, it looks like both people can remove the chains and walk away. However, there is more of an emotional or other kind of investment that keeps you there. So, as I was just saying, I don't feel like you're 100% happy in your job. And that also goes back to the King of Pentacles here. The look of that is, it just feels like, if you see the direction that the King of Pentacles is looking at the pentacles, as opposed to um that I don't know what that is it a staff or what have you, but that the part there, and the fact that the home is really far away, is it gives me the feeling that you spend a lot of time working and don't really get to spend the amount of time that you would want at home with your kids, or just enjoying the life that um you have uh built. uh I'm not throwing shade or anything, but it kind of almost, I thought that, government jobs were not so, I don't know, oppressive. I don't know. I've never, well, never really worked in government like that. So, um, but yeah, so I feel like, okay, so the question being, should I just start looking for another job? That depends on you. If like you have the thing that I see here is you have a lot of Options. You have the option to stay in your current job, continue to get your benefits, get to continue to get your years in. You have the opportunity to leave your job and keep getting paid until um, September, as you said, which would give you some time to spend time with your kids. And also, you have and then while you are getting paid, you could look for another job. So you have options. But if you decide you were going to stay there right now, I do feel like there's just you keeping your guard up. There's a lot going on with just being almost like a curated of a mask, somewhat. But anyway, all right. So either way, it feels like your money's gonna money. You're gonna still have money whether you stay at your job, whether you leave your job, whether you go to another job. I feel like you're going to continue to maintain your stability, which is the big reason why I feel like you came for this reading, is you wanted to know whether your stability was going to be uh, impacted in any way, and it does not feel like it will be. It's more an internal and emotional thing. I feel like because you started this job, there's a feeling of you having started this job a long time ago. So that's the way that your life has been. That's what you've built on. And that's what your circumstances have trained you for years to expect. You know what you're doing when you go on vacation, you know you're coming back to this job. So this is a big disruption in that stability. I don't feel like the financial stability is that way disrupted. Well, I mean, yeah, I feel like it's more emotional for you. So when you deal with the emotions, you can kind of rein it back in, and then that's what the Queen of Swords is about. If you're reining in your emotions and you're dealing with them as you're reining them in, then you're almost like a tree. You're a bit unmovable. So you're gonna, sway, and you're gonna do what you need to do and be emotional, but you're not going to, what's the word? You're not going to falter. All right, so we have 9 minutes left on this one. We got a 20-minute reading, and then so should I start that business? Now oh wow, okay. The All right, so it feels to me, I don't know what the business is, but I got uh a 7 of swords. Um, but I'm drawn to the back behind this person, that my eyes are drawn to the it's like a circus. So now what I'm feeling about that, okay, yeah, so I'm okay, that makes sense now. Okay, so in terms of your business, should I start that business? It feels to me as though your business idea, you haven't specified it, but it feels as though there is something about it that is playful for you, something about it that feels good to you, something about it that is just like fun. And this card for me, this I got the 8 of Pentacles. Girl, lady, you are surrounded by so much money. Just go in the direction of your bliss. You've got a lot of choices. So I do feel as though that when you start your business, it's going to initially take away a lot of that stability, where you're expecting a certain amount of money. You know how much you're getting. But when you start your business, you're obviously going to have to dip into savings, or well, then that also depends on how you start your business. Whether it's going to continue starting you're going to continue working, and then you're going to do the work on your business. That's different. But if you were to just be like, okay, I'm going to take the option of leaving the job and not applying for another job and just focusing on my business while having an income, um, I feel like you are the type of person who will be in your head too much. And so even though your business, which will be based on, I believe it, I'm getting the feeling that it's a hobby, it's something that you'd love to do, but you can monetize. I feel like you'll be in your head, and there will be a level of maybe sabotaging it just because you don't feel emotionally safe. It keeps coming back down to emotionally. It feels, okay, so you got the tower. So I feel like the tower will starting your business will destabilize your current status quo. And I feel like that for you is a no go, just simply because you like things the way that you like them. And anything that kind of comes into your space to shift it really takes you a long time to get over that. I don't know when your birthday is, but I'm feeling the energy of a fixed sign, one of the fixed signs where change is just change for you is like, oh my gosh, it's like getting out and pushing a car that's run out of gas. But just to, overall, to, I guess, reiterate, because we're running out of time here, is will they fire me? The feeling is it that's a no. Should I start looking for another job? The feeling of that is that's up to you. If you want to, you have the option to stay in this job. And then number three, should I start that business? I feel again that's up to you. If you're going to start the business, make sure that you are in an emotionally okay space so that you don't freak out when the money isn't coming in as soon. But I feel like if you were to start your business in the absolute long term, you're gonna hit some glass ceilings, and your money's just gonna money. So that's it, Miss Darnita. I'm gonna go ahead and whew, that was a lot of energy run through my body. So I'm going to go ahead and whew, wow, cleanse that energy again, so that we can start going in a different direction. Uh, I got all up in your business, Miss Donita. Anyway, I hope that helped. And if you are in the space in a few months, it would be lovely if you could update us and let us know which direction you choose. All right, so for reading number 2, let me take down the timestamps real quick so that I can, so 22, 28, so that I can like put down timestamps too. All right, so the second one that I have is Kelly. Miss Kelly is seeing a guy who is all up in her business, but never takes her out in public. So the questions are, what does he really feel about me? Am I wasting my time? And will he ever claim me? Whew, child. All right, let's just get this. Let's, wow. Okay. All right. Initially, Kelly, I feel like, ooh, oh, okay. So what happens is whenever I like get a question, I get the feelings. I get like images from my third eye chakra. I get like image sensations in the body. I get information and like the feeling and when I'm tuning in, I tune into the person who's asked the question and I tune into the other person. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards because what I'm feeling is kind of quite confusing to the judgment I initially had when I heard those questions. Oh my gosh. Woo, girl. All right. So, first things first. I'm going to go ahead and say that when I read your little context about he never takes me out in public, and then I heard your questions, I'm sorry, but I was a little judgmental, as in like, wow, girl, you got to move on because if, okay, this is, this is making me really emotional. This man loves you. Wow. Okay. So I feel like he really loves you. He thinks about you all day. I don't know, but I get the I'm seeing images of him like when you're not doing very well, he'll like send food over, or he will send you text messages, and he spends a lot of time thinking about you. But there is this real resistance to moving it forward. Okay. Okay. So I get the fact that he just loves you. And Miss Kelly, I don't know. I hope this is not offensive, but like, are you maybe plus size, or there's something about you physically that? Okay, so the feeling that I'm getting, okay, so I it's so funny because I asked for not that much information, but that much information would have helped here, but I don't know. But okay, so what I'm initially getting is that there's something about you physically. I don't know if it's a disability, but it feels more like maybe that you're plus size and he isn't. And so one of your insecurities is whether he actually really cares about you, or one of the big reasons he's maybe not claiming you is because you're plus size. I just like, that's the question that's coming up in my head for you. Now I got the world card. I don't that initially what was drawn to me is the it's just this naked woman, and just how like confident and beautiful that she is. And from his perspective, it's like that's how he sees you. Like, just this strikes me as like goddessy. He loves your body's bodying towards him. And there's something about that I just feel is this one is just very like voluptuous. I get like a voluptuous vibe, and he likes that. He really is very, very, very physically attracted to you. But more than that, he feels emotionally attracted to you. He feels like you're a beautiful woman. He feels like you're a lovely person. He can't stop thinking about you and wants you. However, there is definitely something going on with his situation, and it keeps him up at night. And he oh my gosh, what is going on with this man? There's a lot he's feeling, but he's not allowing himself to feel what he's feeling and express what he's feeling to you. All right, so let's see why. Okay, we have a cups card there, but why is he still not coming forward? All right, I feel like there's some family issues with him. It seems like I don't know if there's like a cohabiting situation. I don't know if it's an ex, the family is the ex, or it just feels like he's surrounded by people that he has a lot of obligation, and uh, what's the word? He's tied to them. They're all tied together financially, and he is one of the breadwinners. It feels like he's one of the breadwinners for multiple people, and so if he was to just kind of give it all to you, there would be an aspect of having to that drop that that role. That's it. That drop that role. So it's almost like you might be competing a little bit with the family. I also sense that you are his safe space, the place that he gets to go to and not be judged and not be under such heavy scrutiny. Um, and what's so interesting is his refusal to take you out has more to do with not wanting to taint what you guys have. So I think that communication is probably key in this situation. You guys need to talk. You need to tell him how you're feeling, as in like, why are you keeping me this way? And I do understand it a lot of times. And I'm honored to be the person that someone will go to for a guidance and advice on their relationship. But alongside that, I really think it's important that you speak to the person that you're having the romantic relationship with, or you communicate, open up a line of communication. Um, I feel as though you need to talk to him and you need to ask him what you're doing, because there is a sense of lack of clarity there. There's no, you guys have just been hanging out together and it feels like you've been hanging out together and falling in love with each other, but haven't defined what you're doing. And I feel like he's perfectly happy in that space because it's a safe space. Sometimes you don't want to taint a safe space with outside rules. But for you, it's important because I feel like you're battling with your own issues that are being highlighted by his, I guess, refusal to claim you. So I'm gonna go ahead and so we're gonna apply the we're gonna apply the reading here to your question. So, what does he feel about me? I feel like he really loves you. He really cares about you a lot. I feel there's the what was this the 10 of cups. There's more cups card, the 10 of cups, the 9 of cups. This man is just is his heart is open and willing to give to you. um but he I feel like he's also emotionally unavailable. He's somebody who doesn't really allow himself to feel, hence why he's managed to stay in the situation that he is, with this family dynamic where he's taking care of a whole bunch of people and he's not really standing up for himself. I really do get the sense of someone who rather just keep the peace, because it feels like he's also surrounded by very loud, very dominating personalities, that if he were that who very loud dominating personalities who are used to him just backing down and doing what he's told. And so I just feel like it would take so much for him to it, so much for him to be like, you know what, screw this. I'm ready to just go live my own life. And I just don't think he's there yet. I feel like he thinks about it, but then he does get overwhelmed by the the idea of of all the steps that it would take to get to the point of, okay, guys, I'm no longer taking care of you. I'm going to go and be with my love. I also get the sense that you are not the type of person that his family and his people would approve of initially. So there is also that sense that you would be somebody he would have to spend a lot of time defending against his family or whoever it is that he's surrounded by. And he's just not in the energetic space for that right now. It just feels like too frazzling for him to do that. And it feels like that's really the major reason why he's keeping your relationship closed, behind closed doors, why you don't go out, and why he hasn't like introduced you to anyone, and why he hasn't claimed you on social media or anything like that. What's interesting is the hanged man has just fallen out, and for me that represents a different perspective. So if we have a look at this person here, they are very comfortable. They're very comfortable hanging upside down. That I'd say just maybe shift your perspective, but also call him, talk to him. The next time he comes over, sit him down, have a conversation, get his perspective to it. I this is just what I'm feeling and the energy that I'm tuning in. So as the time is ticking down, what does he feel about me? I feel like he absolutely loves you. He's in love with you, and you are his safe space. You are his peace. You're where he goes to find to get out of that really uh, oppressive space with his family or whoever it is that he's um, responsible for. Am I wasting my time? It doesn't feel like you're wasting your time. Um, However, I think you do need to get clear on what it is that you want, and then you got to create kind of I don't know if boundaries is the word, because boundaries kind of has a connotation sometimes of just be everything go out, but just have a I feel like because there is a certain nature to what you guys are doing, which is undefined, that makes you feel like you're kind of just drifting and floating, and there's nothing solid. Your emotional feet in this relationship aren't stable, and that can be a really horrible feeling. Yeah, it's a horrible feeling because there's the other another side that I feel like you are battling with is, if it's undefined, then do you have any right to be upset should you see him outside with someone else? Whew, okay. Oh, okay. That's a lot of hard stuff. Girl, you need to talk to him. You need to talk to him. You all need to have a conversation. All right. So I don't feel like you're wasting your time, but I do feel like you need to get clear about how you're going to go ahead with this relationship from here on out. And you need to communicate with him how you're feeling, and you need to find out how he's feeling and why he's doing what he's doing. And then, will he ever claim me? So I think that once again comes down to, first of all, what does him claiming you look like? What do you want that to feel like? And also, and the big thing, the big reason why I'm saying you need to connect with him and you need to talk to him is that you can make an informed decision on how you want to continue. Like, you can love somebody, but if somebody's not giving you what you want and what it looks like, then you might need to go find it somewhere else. And so I don't know at this point, but whew, the way that you guys feel for each other, I have to admit, I when I first heard the situation, I was judging. I was judging. I am so sorry, but I I'm not judging anymore. There's a lot of love here between you guys, and there's also a lot of just obligation for him. Um, yeah, I do feel like you need to talk to him. I feel like you. Okay, so what was the question? Will he ever claim me? So what's really interesting is the emperor came up, and so I don't know if you've seen my video over at the psychic clinic, but I say that I don't really know what these cards mean as by the guidebook, but when I asked the question, I will usually get a lot of downloads. I'll get images. I will tune into what the people are thinking and feeling. I will get, I guess, feelings in my body. So the emperor, what came straight through for me here is that he is, oh, in the camera, he's watching you. He's very much aware of what you do. So I guess in his head, you guys are in a relationship and he has claimed you because he spends a lot of time thinking about you. But I feel like he probably just doesn't tell you. So you might need to ask. I think sometimes we hurt ourselves by not by being out here expecting people to read our minds. Nobody's going to read your mind. So all right, Miss Kelly, your reading is done, and please, please, please update me. I would love to know how this shows up in the end. um, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and. Whew, that was a big one. That was, oh my God, so much love, so much love, so much beautiful love. All right, so ah, cleanse the energy there. Oh, I've been live for 40 minutes. Okay. I don't mind that. Yay. I've been really, really nervous about doing this. My guides have been saying, get online and do it. Just get started. And I've been very nervous about it. But I see now that I've broken the bow, I can I'm okay. I can be okay. All right, so now we're going to move on to Mr. James. James is in the family business and the backbone of it, but wants to pursue his own business opportunities. Are you sure James isn't Kelly's other part? All right, so James is in this family business and he feels like he's the backbone of it and wants to pursue his own business opportunities, but he feels like his family may not be receptive to it. So the questions for that are, how will my family receive this? Excuse me. Will I be making a mistake if I go pursue my business? What else do I need to know? What's so interesting is when I read that first, how will my family receive this? I kind of had a burp, which is a little bit too much information, but I kind of had a burp and I felt heartburn. So I feel like your family gives you a lot of heartburn. Um, oh, wow, this should be an interesting reading. So the first question here is, how will my family receive this, that you want to go and pursue your own business opportunities? Eesh. Oh boy. Okay. So as first things first, I feel like there is a hierarchy in your family of which you are not seen as the top of the food chain. I feel as though there's an expectation of you that you can't get away from, and yeah, the family business. So, oh gosh. So I'm going to go ahead and just answer these questions here from what I'm feeling already. So, how will my family receive this? I feel as though you are going to have a bit of pushback. You're going to have some pushback and not much support from your family. I feel like they're going to so what I'm first seeing here is it's the Page of Pentacles. I feel like it's a great idea for you to pursue your business. I do feel, however, that the level of support that you're getting right now as being part of the family and the community is going to suddenly shrivel up. And you're going to be out in the field, in the woods by yourself and having to do it by yourself. Um, I do feel, though, however, that if you do follow your your own business opportunity, that it will flow. It will flow for you. It may may not start off the way that you want to, as in like out of the get go that you're in a good space about it, but I do feel like you will thrive. I don't know if you have some savings, but it feels like you have some ability to go ahead and start. uh All right, so what else do we need to know here? Ooh, it feels like this is keeping you up at night and you're spending a lot of time just wondering whether it's a good idea to do this. I don't know. Is there a thing? It seems like there's an issue with your mother, or a very like the mother. So maybe an aunt or something like that. But it just definitely feels like a very mothering, matriarchal energy that is very overbearing and is one you don't want to disappoint. I think that deep down she wants you to be happy, and that the pushback will be is more to do with the idea of losing her family. The way that things are structured right now, it feels as though um okay, family that works together, family that prays together, a family that is together, the togetherness of this family is what is wanting to be maintained, because obviously as a group, I don't know. Now there's it feels like there's a feeling of if there's a member of the family that goes missing, there's a fear of that it will all fall apart. That's not going to happen because somebody else will just step up. And also it feels like there is a inability to open up. So it feels like this matriarch is very loving, but if you have a look at the this in their heart space. It feels like that they're kind of emotionally unavailable, and are not willing to listen to what anyone else does if it's opposite to what she wants. And I feel a lot of compassion for her. So I don't know if it's like maybe an immigrant family, or just kind of one where the culture is um, almost unrelenting to individuality. So it's a communist type of uh, situation. And so you trying to break off onto your own seems to be bringing a lot of no energy from everyone. But I do feel like deep down, if you stand clear in your business and like, this is what I want to do, and you stand up for yourself, and you don't give in, because I do feel like you give in a lot. You give in a lot because it's just easier. Uh, and you just keep going in the direction of your bliss, you are going to succeed. I feel like you are going to succeed because your skills do feel like they're very much in demand, but you're being held back by this expectation of the family unit. Um, will I be making a mistake if I pursue my business? No. Your skills are sought after. What you have to offer is wanted. And let's be honest here. When somebody is spending a lot of time trying to make you feel as though what you are offering isn't of value, while trying to maintain access to what you have to offer is of value, and they know it. They're just trying to get it for cheap. So what you have, the reason you're being held onto so tightly isn't because you don't have any value. It's because you have all the value, and that if it was to be let go of, then there's a lot of fear around that. So, all right. So, what else do I need to know? Let's have a look. For the most of it, it just feels like it requires you to stand up for yourself. It's the biggest thing that's coming through right now is you need to stand up for yourself. Yep, the devil's come up. And as I was saying about the devil, you have the ability to take off the chains and walk right the fuck away. Excuse my language. Um, Wheel of Fortune, my friend. You can make things happen for yourself. Um, yeah, so I'm going to share here with like the Queen of Cups. So if you have a look right there at the bottom, my eye is drawn to the little the little, I don't know if it's a cherub mermaid or what have you. Um, it's calling attention to you. So it's like, okay, you're spending so much time looking at, all right, it's that. And if you have a look at the face of this character, they're not happy. They're looking at what they're spending a lot of time and energy and attention looking in a certain direction and completely ignoring what their freedom. And for me, this is okay. So it's almost like a cherub because it seems to have wings, and it's also got like a mermaid tail, both of which represent freedom to me. The wings, and then like be out in the ocean. So you clearly came for a reading because it's not something that you can. I feel like it's not something that you can suppress any longer. It's something that you need to, at some point, begin to express and deal with. All right. So, what was the last question? What else do I need to know? What else you need to know is that if you go in the direction of your bliss, you are going to tend to a garden that's going to be very prosperous. You're going to be prosperous. You know what to do. You're good at what you do. So, if you want to make the move, make the move. If you don't want to make the move, that's okay. But at this particular point, you are the person that is holding yourself back. So I hope that helps you, and good luck. And please, please, please update me because I would need to know. I think that maybe you might want to take your mom to lunch, or the matriarch who is the one you don't want to disappoint, and just lay it out. Or maybe write them a letter, and or maybe even begin by just writing a letter. You don't have to send it, but it just gets your feelings on paper and it starts the journey towards it. I don't feel like it feels to me like you are not going to be in this particular position for too long. It does feel like to at the end of the year you will be in a completely different situation to what you are right now. I do feel like you'll be happier and freer, and so good luck. And so now we are going to do the fourth one. I see we're 15 minutes in, and then I have a fourth one to do. All right, so Miss Lisa, I have been single for a long time and I'm yearning for romance and companionship, but I just can't seem to connect with anybody. Will I ever find somebody to love me? What am I doing wrong? All right. That's um yeah. Okay, Miss Lisa. Let's go on ahead and find out, what will you ever find somebody to love you? I am so sorry you feel that way. All right, let's hmm. All right. So it seems to me that the reason you have been single for so long is because you came out of what I feel like may have been a relationship with somebody who has very, very strong narcissistic tendencies. And that left you emotionally effed up. And so coming out of there, it feels as though you did a lot of work on helping to heal yourself, but you aren't completely healed. And I feel like you are still somehow tied to that narcissistic person. I don't know whether you have kids together, or it just feels like in having ended the relationship, you did not end communication. You didn't end a connection to each other. So it feels as though that still having him, I assume it's a him. It feels like a masculine energy. Having this person in your life in whatever capacity is it, it's almost like what you had felt in the relationship is still being reinforced, and therefore that's making it really hard for you to move on, because I feel like you're always tense, and that unfortunately, because and it feels like you've been single for a long time, you haven't been in a romantic relationship since this person, and it's been showing up as though you were in a relationship with him. So it almost feels like there's a fear of you finding someone else because you worry about what he's going to think, what he's going to do. Um, but it feels as though, yes, he's very manipulative, but you're the one giving him power. I feel like what you need to do is you need to start moving in a different direction, because it feels like you're in this holding pattern of singledom, but that's connected to him. And the moment you start moving in a different direction, you will see different things, you will see different options. Um, yeah, you need to move. I don't know what that move looks like for you, whether it's moving home, moving jobs. Is it a job? Are you guys still working? Oh, okay, so that's a the King of Pentacles has come through. It feels, yeah. So I wonder if if you guys work together, so you're getting to see him at work all the time, or the risk of bumping into him. So moving might simply mean either moving to a different department, or moving jobs, or moving to a different, maybe building to the job. You need to get away from him. For as long as you are continuing to be accessible to him, narcissist, it's all about being a supply. it feels like you are just a perfect supply for this person. You need to cut off his access to you and your ability to be his supply. Um, so start looking into that and allowing your stuff to flow. Again, I feel like you're just in this space of just constantly tense, shoulders up, hairs on the back of your neck are up. You are in survival mode when you're around this person, and that is just not good for your health, spiritual, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. It just feels like this person has way too much control over your internal spaces, and that needs to stop, because that's also keeping you closed off to another potential relationship. And good Lord, you have been single for a very long time, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're shutting other potential men out because all of your focus and attention is still on your ex. And of course, it seems like you can't get away from your ex because I don't know whether you work with him or you live with him, but your guys are still very tied together. You need to untie yourself. You need to detach. You need to disentangle. Whatever that looks like to you, you need to disentangle, and you need to get away from each other, from him. So a lot of cards are here, like cards. Okay, yeah, there's a feeling of being trapped. And not understand, and not like, obviously that in that card it's like this person is feeling trapped, like they've got I don't know if there's duct tape over their eyes now, and that they're just basically navigating life with a blindfold on. Yeah, and it also feels as though he's just like constantly watching you. He knows how much power he has over you, and he is making absolute use of that, which is just ew. It does feel to me that he's moved on. He's got a whole other wife and a family and what have you, and you're still uh, keeping this connection and allowing him to have a lot of power. And I'm saying allow because a lot of times in situations, there could be whatever going on, and somebody can't disentangle themselves. It does feel as though that had been the case for you um, up to quite recently, but now it feels like the energy has shifted, and that if the situation keeps going on like this, then it is an allowing situation. You do not have to continue giving him your energy. You do not have to keep allowing him to have access to you and how you're feeling and what you're doing. I feel like if an opportunity hasn't yet come up for you, there will be an opportunity that comes up for you to move either department or jobs or something like that. And once you move, that shifts so much because it opens up a new pathway for you to see other people beyond him. It feels like he's just got a lot of energy, which is like this almost very distracting cloud that doesn't allow you to see what other options you have. Because unfortunately, people with these narcissistic tendencies, they like to kick up a lot of dust. They like to kick up a lot of drama so that you are in constant survival mode and you don't have the opportunity to look up and see that you have other options beyond them. And that's how they can keep you in the space of being their supply, because it gets you almost trained to be them being the only person that you give your attention, your time, your energy to, and they will milk you dry for every single ounce of whatever you have. So it's time to, you know, open your eyes, cut off that duct tape, and actually see what other options you have to, first of all, like remove yourself from him being so available to have access to you. Anyway, so will I ever find somebody to love me? Yes, you will find somebody to love you once you remove yourself from the clutches of the person who doesn't love you and is instead using you. And second question, because Miss Lisa, you only sent me two questions. What am I doing wrong? I wouldn't say you're doing wrong. I just feel like you're acting from, a lot of times we will just, the status quo. You have always been around him and you don't see anything other than that. And obviously, he's got a vested interest in keeping you exactly where you are because you are continuing to be his supply. So I wouldn't say you're doing anything wrong because you had been acting from an uninformed space. But now that you have this information and the fact that once you can begin to remove yourself from being so kind of entangled and intricately connected to your ex, you can then take that information and start moving in a different direction. What so I guess in context of what am I doing wrong? It's you're continuing to stay and allowing him to have access to you. And that blocks out all of the other potentials that you have. So you need to move in a different direction and let like unplug his plugations, I know that's not a word, into you and just begin to move in a different direction. So I hope that helped. I'm at an hour and I'm going to log off now because I feel like I need to go and sleep. All this energy that's run through. But yes, my first live. I'm absolutely excited that I did it. I shall be back tomorrow. And in the meantime, please check out the Psychic Clinic with myself and Shell. And have a beautiful, blessed day. And yeah, bye.